They say there are places in America where night is not just a time of day. Night is a filter.
IHOP is one of those places. I found out about it by accident. That night, I wasn't looking for adventure, didn't want secrets, and didn't plan on breaking rules. I was just hungry. 3 in the morning, an empty road, yellow streetlights that don't provide warmth. I had been driving for 6 hours straight, coming home from a job where I had been fired without explanation. My phone was dead, the music had stopped, and my thoughts kept circling the same thing: food. When I saw the IHOP sign, it was glowing too brightly for that hour, as if someone had intentionally cranked the brightness to maximum so it could be seen from afar. The parking lot was nearly empty. Just one car, an old one, without license plates. I went inside. The bell above the door chimed, but the sound was strange, muffled as if it had passed through thick fabric. The dining room smelled of coffee, syrup, and something old, like a hospital after a night shift. A waitress sat behind the counter, young but with tired eyes. She raised her head and immediately looked at the clock above the kitchen. 0307. Her face changed visibly. "Good night," she said cautiously. "Are you breakfast?" "Yes," I replied. "Pancakes, with bacon, and coffee." She didn't write down the order. She just stared at me as if I had asked for something indecent. "Are you sure?" she asked. "Why?" I smirked. "This is IHOP. Breakfast is your specialty." She swallowed. "Rules apply after midnight." I laughed. "Rules? Like keep it down?" She leaned closer and lowered her voice. "No, like understanding what you're ordering." I felt uneasy, but it felt stupid to back down. "I just want to eat." She nodded, too quickly. "Fine, then I must warn you." She tapped her fingernail on the menu. "At night, breakfast isn't served to everyone, and not for free." "I'll pay," I said. "With money, yes," she replied. "But not just that." I noticed that someone else was sitting in the hall besides me, in the far corner, a man in his 40s. He was eating pancakes, but he did it strangely, slowly, with effort, as if every bite brought him pain. His hands were trembling. On the plate, the syrup was too dark. "What is this nonsense?" I said. "Just bring my order." She stared at me for a long time. Then she exhaled. "Fine, but remember, if something goes wrong, you agreed to this yourself." She went into the kitchen. While I waited, I began leafing through the menu, and I noticed something strange. Some items were highlighted in small gray print, almost invisible. "Midnight breakfast, available upon acceptance, no substitutions, no refunds." I wanted to ask, but the waitress was already returning with coffee. The cup was hot, but the coffee smelled strange, as if metal had been added to it. "Pancakes will be ready in a minute," she said. "Is this your first time here at night? Why is it important?" "Very," she replied and walked away. The man in the corner suddenly raised his head and looked straight at me. His eyes were red, as if he hadn't slept in a long time. He opened his mouth as if to say something, but then looked down and continued eating. I felt anxiety rising inside me. The pancakes were brought quickly, perfect, golden. Steam rose from them steadily, beautifully, like in a commercial. The syrup glistened. "Enjoy your meal," the waitress said. "And if it gets hard, don't stop." "What do you mean?" "Just eat." She walked away.
I cut a piece and put it in my mouth, and immediately I knew something was wrong. The taste was too familiar. Not sweet, not salty. It was home. A memory flashed before my eyes. My mother's kitchen. I'm 8 years old. The morning before school. She's making pancakes and laughing. Then the image changed. The same kitchen, but empty. A funeral. I'm standing at the casket, thinking about how I never told her the most important thing. I coughed. The coffee turned bitter, not on the tongue, inside. "What the?" I whispered. "Don't stop," a voice rang out. The waitress was standing nearby. Now her smile was strained. "If you stop, it will get worse." "What is this?" I looked at the pancakes. "What did you put in here?" "Memories," she said. "Regrets. Everything you put off for later." I pushed the plate away. "I'm not eating this." Suddenly, the lights in the hall went out. Only the lamps above the tables remained. The man in the corner groaned and dropped his fork. It clattered, but the sound was muffled. "Too late," the waitress said. "You ordered breakfast at night." "So what?" She leaned toward me. "At night, we don't feed the body. At night, we feed the real you." The floor beneath my feet turned cold. I felt something heavy rising inside me, as if I had swallowed a stone. "The price for the order," she continued, "is what you've hidden the most. We pull it out, we digest it, we leave you with emptiness." "I'm leaving," I said, and stood up. My legs buckled. My head began to ring. I saw another memory, the girl I never called back, the friend I betrayed, the day when I could have fixed everything, but chose convenience. "Sit down," the waitress said. "You haven't finished eating." "I don't want to." She looked at me tiredly. "Nobody wants to." The man in the corner screamed. His body began to jerk as if something inside was tearing its way out. Then he went limp. The waitress calmly walked over to him, covered him with a napkin, and returned to the counter. "He didn't make it," she said. "The breakfast turned out to be too heavy." "What will happen to him? He'll stay here," she answered. "A part of the kitchen." I looked at my plate. The pancakes didn't look appetizing anymore. They were darker, thicker, as if they were filling up with something from the inside. "What if I finish?" I asked. "You'll leave," she said. "Empty, no pain, no regrets. It will feel easier." "And if not?" She smiled. "Then you'll stay too." I sat down. My hands were shaking. I took the fork and finished it. Every bite tore something out from within. Memories vanished, faces blurred. The pain left, along with the warmth. When I finished, the plate was clean. "The bill?" I asked hoarsely. The waitress placed a check in front of me. The total was $0. "Paid for," she said. I walked outside. The night was quieter than before. The IHOP sign went dark as if it had never existed. I got into my car and realized something terrifying. It really did feel easier. Too easy. I couldn't remember my mother's face, that girl's name. The reason why I was even driving that night. Time has passed. Now I sometimes stop at IHOP at night. Not to eat, just to watch. Sometimes I see new people, tired, hungry. They order breakfast and think it's just food. I want to warn them, but every time I catch myself thinking that I don't understand why. And maybe that is exactly the main rule of IHOP. Breakfast at night doesn't make you full. It makes you empty forever.